Hello! Welcome back to my corner of the internet. Welcome back to Tabletop Simulator and the Pokemon trading card game. This is round one of my tournament that I'm doing exhibition matches with, basically using the cards I own in real life to have a bit of fun, and I hope you're all enjoying it as well. Today we have a awesome match I hope for you, but it might not be very long because there's a lot of weakness in play, but it should be fun. I've got some good cards to show you. Just as we always do, I'm going to go through a little introduction before we get started. I am playing with unlimited format rules, and what that means is, unlike in championship matches where only the most recent sets are legal, every card from every set is legal. You still have your normal rules on the 60 card deck, no more than 4 cards of the same name in your deck as long as it's not basic energies, and you have your 6 prize cards and you win when you take all 6. You take a prize card when you knock out a Pokemon. However, because unlimited format can be quite brutal, we do have some house rules. They're written on the side there for you just to keep an eye on them, but I'll just go through them very quickly. The starting player can attack on the first turn. Any Pokemon EX cards, which are the lowercase EXs, so before the V and the GX era of cards, only give you 1 prize card. They used to give you 2 because they were more powerful. They're not so powerful anymore. And with deck building, you only have 12 trainer, item, supporter, tool or stadium cards allowed, which basically again just balances things out a little bit, because of course if you ever watch any championship games, they have like 30-35 trainers, and in those matches they go through the entire thing, a whole deck in about 2 moves, and the game's over really quick. So I like to long it out a little bit. There is a little addendum for fossils, but that doesn't count in this match. There's no fossils coming up. And potion cards all heal 30 damage, which is a real life rule as well. I'll just put it there so we are reminded of it. As I mentioned, these are cards I own in real life, so every deck I've built in the game here is built on a 1-to-1 scale with the cards that I already own. Which means if I've used them somewhere else before in a different deck, I can't just use them again in a new deck. Unless I've got, of course, more than 1 copy of it. So with that in mind, let's take a look at today's competitors. Let's start on the left-hand side as we always do with the deck captained by Gyarados. He's a scary boy, isn't he? And Gyarados is obviously it's a normal evolution stage 1 Gyarados here. It evolves from Magikarp. You've got to be careful when you have Magikarp in the deck because they don't normally have a lot of HP. So you have to be careful, make sure you've got good setups around them. This Gyarados, however, if you get to him, is really good. He's got Hydro Splash for 50 damage and Hyper Beam for 80, which can discard an energy card attached to the defending Pokemon. And you don't even have to flip to do it. You normally sometimes have to flip a coin. Not this time. That's awesome. On the other side, we've got the Gyarados Vs. These are 2 of my newer cards, and I love these cards to bits. The V cards, they're the newer thing. They are how the trading card game kind of brought forward the Dynamax that Sword and Shield have. Originally, anyway. And Gyarados V is on the left. He's a basic Pokemon. V cards are always basic. And then you have the VMAX that evolves specifically from Gyarados V. So these guys don't use the Magikarps at all. But they're really good cards. As you can see, Gyarados V has 220 HP. His bottom attack does 180 damage. Needs 4 energies to do it, but it's pretty good. He does give you 2 prize cards if you get knocked out though. So if he gets knocked out, your opponent takes 2 prize cards. And then the VMAX, this boy's scary. He's 330 HP. His bottom attack does 240 damage, which is huge. But the caveat is, if he gets knocked out, your opponent takes 3 prize cards. You've got to be careful in a VMAX deck because you could literally have 2 of your VMAXs get knocked out and it's game over. You've actually probably seen some championship matches, some people actually just play without any Vs or VMAXs whatsoever. They play 1 prize card, 1 prize decks to try and unbalance things a little bit. But he's really cool. My best friend calls him Leviathan because he's a scary boy. But like I said, you do need some good backup in a Gyarados deck, and these are the backups I've got here. It's not the best, but I quite like it. We've got Glaceon here on the left-hand side. There's actually 3 Glaceons in this deck. Glaceon, of course, if he's active, his Pokebody reduces damage done by attacks by 10 as long as he's active. His top attack can hit anyone you want, so he can hit the bench. And his bottom attack will paralyze you unless your opponent discards a card from their hand. so it puts the ball right in their court. You've got to choose one or two bad options. On the right to Glaceon we have Furret. Furret is one of my all-time favourite Pokemon. If I had to pick like 6 favourites, he would be in there. Absolutely adore this boy, but his top attack is called Keen Eye, and as you can see, instead of an energy cost, it's got a little kind of just void circle there. That means you don't actually need to have any energy attached to him whatsoever to do it, and Keen Eye will search your deck for up to 2 cards, put them into your hand, and shuffle your deck afterwards. And I think you know what 2 cards I might try and get. His bottom attack, Baton Pass, also means you can switch Furret with one of your bench Pokemon and move as many energy cards attached to Furret as you like to the new active Pokemon, which also comes in really handy for quickly powering up the Gyaradoses because they take a lot of energy to use. So that's the deck. That is the deck I'm probably thinking is going to win unless it has an absolute horrible hand. But on this side we have the Rapidash Captain deck. There's a couple of different Rapidashes in here, but I'll show you this one. Rapidash, 80 HP, Overrun, 20 damage, does 10 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and Blaze Up, and if you get a Tails, you discard a Fire Energy attached to Rapidash, but he also hits all of the benched Pokemon. Really good. We've got Dodrio, which can do Rage, which does 10 more damage for each damage counter on him already, and Endeavour can do quite a lot of damage. Again, there's more than one Dodrio in here. And then we have Watchog, who can confuse you and do Hyper Fang for 60 damage unless you get a Tails. If you get a Tails, it doesn't do anything, which is normal for Hyper Fang. It's kind of hit and miss kind of thing. I think that kind of just tries to emulate the lack of accuracy the move has in real life in the games. And then we have Ninetales. This is a really old Ninetales card, so he's only got 70 HP. There's some new Ninetales cards out that have a lot more HP. But the Safeguard Pokebody is really cool. It wouldn't come into effect in this match, unfortunately, but it prevents all effective attacks, including damage, done by your opponent's Pokemon EX. It's lower card EXs, so it would be accounting for the old ones. But if it comes into play, that guy can really mess things up. Unfortunately, this deck is one of the decks I built towards the end, when a lot of my good cards were already used and in other decks, so it's not a strong deck really at all. It's here, it's fun to use, but I don't know if it's going to do that well in a match like this. So you never know. I've been surprised by these sorts of things before. So let's have a match and let's see what happens, shall we? Gyarados versus Rapidash. So we'll shuffle our decks, wabam. And we're going to draw 7 cards looking for a basic Pokemon, of course. We don't want to start with Gyarados V because he would take a long time to power up. So let's see what we get. 1, 2, 3. We've got a Centra. Okay, cool. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so we've got a Centra. That trainer card I drew at the end is a really cool trainer card too, so he'll definitely come in handy. But we've got a basic Pokemon, so that's awesome. Let's have a look what we get on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. 5. There we are. 6, 7. That's a crazy hand. There's just nothing but energy. That's insane. But both sides have got a basic Pokemon at least, so we can put our prize cards down. The thing about the Gyarados deck is there's only one Gyarados V and only one Gyarados VMAX because that's all I own. So if I don't know if one of the VMAX is in these prizes, and if he is, that's a real damper on the deck. So that's something to keep in mind. Of course, if I get a chance to search my deck at some point, then we'll take a proper look and see if that's the case. But before then, we're going to start and put our basic Pokemon down. So there's only really Centra here that we can use. I love Centra. Look at him. He's so cute. He's the only one we can use on this side. And on this side, this Doduo is the only one we can use. He looks like an old card, by the way, but he's actually from the XY Evolutions set, which was a lot of reprints with higher HP and stuff. I didn't get as many of those cards as I would have wanted to, but never mind. Doduo is going to be our first opener on this side. So let's roll our dice, our little Pikachu dice over here. If we get a heads, we'll start on the left hand side with the Gyarados, and we start on the right hand side with the Rapidash if we get a tails. Flippy flips. I fell off a deck, but it's a heads. So we're going to start on the Gyarados side. Let's draw a card to start our turn. It's a grass energy. Now we can't play a supporter card in our first turn. When you start the game, you can't play a supporter card. So we can't use him anyway, but he attaches a basic energy card from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. So actually, he's quite cool for a Gyarados deck. Again, just getting that energy cards up, but we'll save him. What I am going to do is I'm going to play this Great Ball. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and you can reveal the Pokemon you find there, put it into your hand. The actual effect of Great Ball's changed recently. I used to do something different, but this is one of the newer versions. So we look at the top 7 cards of our deck. So I'm going to whack them down here. Okay, we've got an Eevee, we've got a Gyarados, we've got a Magikarp, we've got another Eevee. Wow, it's all Pokemon. We've got Furret, we've got Water Energy, and we've got a Magikarp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, okay, this is where things are going to get really interesting. I'm going to get the Furret because that's a really quick way to start powering up this deck. I'm going to get to do the strategy immediately. So let's throw it into our hand over here and group those back up and shuffle them back into our deck. Now obviously we can't evolve Sentret straight away. Of course we can't. He's only just started the game. But we can at least do his attack, which is Scratch for 10 damage. So let's do that. Let's hit Doduo over here. 10 damage. Happy days. And that ends a turn because that's the attack. So let's draw a card. We've just drawn Dodrio. Okay, that's pretty cool. Dodrio is a cool Pokemon. He evolves from Doduo, of course. So happy days. We'll put a fire energy on Doduo. Because this deck is half colorless, all the energy in here is fire, because colorless Pokemon, of course, can use any energy they want. This trainer here, Cynthia's Feelings, is really cool for just shuffling your hand into your deck. You draw 4 cards when you do it, unless one of your Pokemon was knocked out last turn, and you can actually draw 8. So we do tend to save that if we have the opportunity to. So we're not going to worry about using that card just yet. What we are going to do is play Doduo's Fury attack. Yeah. Flip 3 coins and it does 10 damage times the number of heads. So let's see what we got. We got 1 tails. We got 2 tails. We got 3 tails. Oh man. That just sucks, doesn't it? I suppose that's the risk you run with something like this. But that's the attack. No damage done to Sentret. So let's move on. Let's draw a card. An energy search. Okay, this is something I want. This is definitely something I want. So I'm going to play the energy search, which means you can search your deck for a basic energy card, show it to your opponent, put it in your hand. So we put the card in our discard pile. We're going to search for a basic energy card. And this is awesome because now we have a chance to look at what's in our deck. Here's Gyarados V, there's Gyarados VMAX. I know they're both here, they're not in my prizes. That's awesome. And I'm going to pull out a water energy card. Shuffle our deck. Attach the water energy to Sentret. And we're going to play Furret. And we're going to do Keen Eye. Search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand and shuffle your deck afterwards. Okay. And again, because obviously we're going to see what they are, of course we are, but in an actual game, I'm going to get the 2 Gyaradoses, but in an actual game, because it's any card, you don't have to reveal it because you don't have to prove you got the right kind of card. But there we are. I've got the 2 Gyaradoses. We're moving forward. So let's draw a card. Start our turn on this side. It's another Doduo. Okay. So, again, let's just, as we always do, let's try and put ourselves in the vein of not knowing what the other guy's going to have. So we're going to try and think about what I would do if I didn't know that the other guy has the Gyarados. But I would assume he does at this point, because getting the Furret and the Keen Eye so quickly, you know you're going to kind of fast track to the biggest thing you've got in your deck, right? So I'm not going to power up the active Doduo. I'm going to power up the one on the bench because I'm assuming that the main Doduo is not going to be here much longer. So I'm going to power this guy up and get him ready for Dodrio to come up in the future. So we're going to try and Fury attack again. I need you to get a bit more angry, my Doduo. Let's 3 coins and 10 damage times the number of heads. So We got a Tails. Oh, the luck. The luck is not with us. We got another Tails. Oh, that's a big flip. And 3 Tails again. I'm shocked. Not a good kind of Pikachu shocked. I'm just shocked. That Doduo, man, he's not doing what we need him to do. But anyway, that's the end of that turn. That's the attack. So let's draw a card, start our turn, and immediately Gyarados V is going on the bench. We're going to play the Water Energy onto Gyarados V. We're going to play the Bede, I don't know how you pronounce his name. We're going to play his card, which means we attach a basic energy card from our hand to one of our bench Pokemon. Because we're doing it through a supporter card, it circumvents the rule of only playing 1 energy card per turn. Let's put down our supporter in our discard pile, and we'll attach another energy to Gyarados V. He's now got 2 energies attached to him. Which is amazing. And we're going to play Keen Eye one more time. Because we're going to search for the 2 cards and put them into our hand. I need another Water Energy card. I don't have enough Water Energy to do Gyarados V or VMAX's bottom attacks. So I'm going to go and get 2 more cards. Keen Eye again, searching for any 2 cards that we want. So we're going to get at least 1 Water Energy card. And, you know, since we've got... I don't want to put the Gyarados on the bench yet because I don't think we're quite ready for him. So instead, I'm going to get Hop. So support a card that draws us 3 cards. I think that's a cool card to get. So, Water Energy and a Hop. Shuffle our deck. That's the attack, so it ends our turn. And let's move over this side of the field. And draw a card to start our turn here. We've got a Copycat. Okay, Copycat is a cool card as well. Copycat, shuffle your hand into your deck and draw a number of cards equal to the number of cards in your opponent's hand. So right now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to play the energy in the Dodrio anyway. Because like I said, we're getting him ready. Because I'm pretty sure Doduo is not much longer for this world. Now the real question is, do I play the Copycat or do I play Cynthia's Feelings? Do I wait until Doduo gets knocked out? I'm going to play the Copycat straight away, I think. Because, I mean, obviously Cynthia's Feelings will go back into the deck. So it is going to give us that option, but I want to try and get as many options available because now I know Gyarados V is on the bench. I want to get as many options as possible. So we're going to play Copycat, which means we shuffle our hand into our deck. Come on. There we go. And we draw cards equal to the amount of cards in your opponent's hand. I love Copycat cards, by the way. The designs just keep getting updated each time with different characters. It's awesome. But your opponent, obviously, they have 6 cards in their hands, so we can draw 6 of our own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we've got a Bullpix. Bullpix is alright. You can roar and gnaw. But we'll play him onto the bench. We can't use an energy card. We've already put one down this turn. And Doduo, my boy, my bird, please be angry. Let's Fury attack. 3 coins. What? 1 tails? A heads! Oh, wonders never cease. And 1 tail. So it's only 10 damage. That's crazy. But 10 damage onto Furret, who has 90 HP. It's worth mentioning, if we'd have got 3 heads each time, Furret would have been knocked out by now. But, you know, that's how it goes. So we'll draw a card. We've got our Grass Energy, but we're going to put a Water Energy on Gyarados V, and we're going to evolve to Gyarados VMAX. This is a massacre, I'm telling you. We're going to play Hop. Hop's a great supporter card. He draws 3 cards. That's all he does. But again, when you want to get as many cards in your hand as possible, get your options open. That's what you need. So 3 cards. We've got 2 basics and a Water Energy. So we'll put Eevee onto the bench and Dealing onto the bench over here. That's pretty cool. And now we can play Baton Pass. Baton Pass, 40 damage, and you may switch Furret with one of your benched Pokemon. If you do, move as many energy cards attached to Furret as you like to the new active Pokemon. Awesome move. So 40 damage, which is going to put Doduo on 50 damage. It's got 60 HP, so he's still got one more chance to be angry. And I don't know about you, but if I was that close to being knocked out, I'd be pretty annoyed. But we're going to do the switch with the Furret. So we're going to keep the grass energy, the water energy. The water energy is going to be moved to Gyarados VMAX. That's part of Baton Pass. Obviously moving as much energy to the new active Pokemon as we like. And he is now fully powered up. That's a bit scary. But that was the attack on that side, so we've got one more go on this team. Draw a card, Fire Energy. Now we got this supporter card when we did our copycat called Professor Oak's Visit. Couldn't play it straight away because we can only play one supporter per turn, but it draws 3 cards as well. The only difference is we put a card from our hand on the bottom of our deck when we do it. It's not too much worse, so we'll play that. We'll draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we've got to do a Doduo. It doesn't have to be one of the 3 cards that we pulled to go on the bottom of our deck. So I'm gonna put the Fire Energy on the bottom of the deck. We don't shuffle, of course, at that point. We'll play Ponyta and Doduo onto the bench. We've got quite a few options now with what we can do. The Doduo can do 50 damage, but you have to get 2 heads for it to work. The Vulpix's going to do 10 damage, and the Ponyta could do up to 30. I think Ponyta is the one I'm going to start powering up. Get him ready to go. And we're going to do Fury attack with Doduo. It's a bit late now, but that's a heads. We'll count that as a heads. Bad flip, but you know. And that's a tails. And that's a tails. So 1 heads, 10 damage. Oh, I didn't move the damage counter. Whoops. Haha. I'm getting too excited. So 10 damage on Gyarados VMAX, but he has 330 HP. You don't want to mess with Leviathan, I'm telling you. But that's the attack. That counts. So let's draw a card, start our turn. Hey, Magikarp! I love Magikarps. They're pretty cool. So, yep, we'll do him. Furret now has done his job. We don't need to keep him around. But I've got Gyarados in my hand, so I'm going to put a Water Energy on Magikarp, get him ready for the Gyarados evolution. And we have 1 Grass Energy and 3 Water Energies on Gyarados VMAX, which means we can do Max Tyrant, 240 damage. And Doduo has already got 50, by the way. So that means he's on 290 damage. And he's only got 60 HP. That boy got overkilled so bad there's nothing left. That's the end of Doduo's involvement in this match. So let's draw a card. So Glaceon. Okay, well, that should have maybe put energy on the Eevee, shouldn't I? But let's bring our next active Pokemon up. In fact, it's not Ponyta, is it? What am I doing? It's Dodrio. Because now you see, I've got an opportunity to do something crazy. But before we get there, let's draw a card, start our turn. It's a Fire Energy. I'm going to play this X Transceiver or Cross Transceiver, whatever you want to call it. And what that does is an item card. You play it and it says flip a coin. If you get a heads, search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. So, let's try and at least get a heads. The luck on this deck has been horrible. I got a tails. Never mind. Well, we've used that card. Now, I wanted to get the Cynthia's Feelings back because, of course, like I mentioned earlier, if my Pokemon was knocked out last turn, I get 8 cards when I shuffle, so that would have been quite helpful. But, you know, never mind. But here's where I get a chance to do something insane. Dodrio has a move called Incessant Peck. Now, unfortunately, as you've seen, our coin flips in this match have been woeful, but it does 20 damage, and you flip a coin until you get tails, and it does 20 damage plus 20 more for each heads. All I've got to do is get 16 heads, 15, 16 heads, and I've knocked out a VMAX. Do you think it's going to happen? Let's find out. That's 1 head, so that's 40. That's 60 damage, that's another heads. That's 80 damage, oh my god. That's 100 damage. Oh no. Okay, got it. But that's 100 damage to the VMAX. I'll be honest with you. I know that it's possible that this could work. I've never seen it work. It's a desperate move. I've never seen it work, but I was kind of hoping it would. That would have been some great entertainment. But that's the attack. Let's start our turn on this side. We've drawn Department Store Girl. Okay, this is a cool card. Search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon tool cards. Show them to your opponent, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. So obviously this one, because you're searching for a very specific type of card, you have to show your opponent normally. Obviously that's not an instance here. But here's one of our Pokemon tool cards. It's a Choice Band. That's a cool card. But the ones I'm really looking for are these two. They're Bench Shield cards. And I love to have these cards in a game with Magikarp. I'll show you the Choice Band quickly. The attacks to the Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active GX or EX Pokemon, which isn't going to have any effect in this match, but the Bench Shields. The bench shields, as long as the Pokemon this card is attached to is on your bench, prevent all damage done to that Pokemon by attacks, both yours and your opponent's. Did I shuffle my deck? I don't know, but I have now. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play that on Magikarp. Yes, I'm going to evolve him into Gyarados in just a moment, but it's really helpful because like I showed you, obviously Glaceon's a good example of this. Glaceon can hit your bench. Sometimes, if you've got a Magikarp on the bench, it's an easy knockout to get, so Bench Shield really comes in handy. I'm going to evolve him to Gyarados anyway, but it just means you can't hit the Gyarados on the bench anymore. Really awesome Pokemon tool card. However, we are going to go back to the Max Tyrant. Leviathan is raging. He will not be stopped. 240 damage. Woo, mama. What's the term? Is it sheesh? Is that the term now? I don't know. I'm out of touch. But 240 damage on a Dodrio that's got 80 HP. That's 3 times the amount of damage. I suppose it's 80 HP per head. But he's out of here. Bye-bye, Dodrio. Bad times. So let's draw a prize card. We've got a Water Energy. I'll need that for Gyarados. And we're going to play Ponyta. And draw a card, start a turn. It's another Fire Energy. We'll just put that on Ponyta. He's got a move called Stomp. I never realised how coin flip heavy this deck is. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 10 plus 20 more damage. So it'll do 30 damage. We've got a tail, so it's only going to do 10. 120 damage out of his 330 HP. Well, that's crazy, isn't it? That's just insane. I love this card, but he's mental. Draw a card, start a turn, another Water Energy. Going to whack that on Gyarados because he needs 2 waters and 2 of any kind to do his bottom attack. And he's a really good backup anyway, just in case we're going to take away the VMAX at any point. However, we're not at that stage yet. This is going to be fun. Max Tyrant for 240 damage. But now, look at this Ponyta. He's weak to water. He's only weak plus 10. Oh, I was hoping he was going to be weak by double. It was going to be 480 damage. But because he's only weak plus 10, it's a big difference. 250 rather than 480. The end product is the same, however. He's knocked out. Bye-bye. I did warn you. I don't think this game's going to be too competitive. But it's okay. It's fine. It happens. Here we go. We've got a Grass Energy card for our prize. And what are we going to do now? I'm going to play this Vulpix here. And we're going to draw a card, start a turn. Enhanced Hammer. Discard a special energy card attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. There's no special energy in play on the other side, so we can't use that. What we can do, however, is we can roar. Yeah. Your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their benched Pokemon. I'm just being annoying at this point because I don't want Leviathan up anymore. So that's the move. That's the move that we're doing. I'm going to move this Gyarados into the active spot. Move him down. And I'm not going to move all of the energy cards because they've pretty much got almost the same amount on them. So there we are. He's still got the same and they've got the same too. So let's draw a card, start our turn. Another Magikarp. So before I do that, we'll put the Bench Shield down. Magikarp with Bench Shield. I actually do quite like this Magikarp. He's got a move called Raging Fin, which does 30 more damage for each Magikarp and Gyarados in your discard pile. I am waiting for the day when I can win a game with that Magikarp. One day it will happen. That day has not yet come. However, we get a chance to use this Gyarados now. This Gyarados does Hyper Beam for 80 damage and discards an energy card attached to the defending Pokemon. I don't think we're going to need to discard an energy card because he is weak by 2. He's weak by double damage. So 80 becomes 160. And he's only got 60 HP. So yeah, this is not going well at all. We'll get a prize card. It's another Glaceon. I'm not even involved in the Eevee. I've not even thought about it, to be fair. All we've got left on this side is Doduo. So we'll draw a card. We'll start our turn. On this side, we've got Watchog. It's game over, isn't it? This is it. This is the end of the road. So we'll put a Fire Energy on Doduo. We'll play Peck. It does 10 damage to Gyarados here, but he's got 130 HP. So it's not going to make much difference. And we'll draw a card to start our turn here. We've got another Gyarados, so we'll evolve the Magikarp. We'll evolve the Eevee. I don't see why not. And we'll just put an energy card on him because we can. But it's the end of the road. This is it. Hyper Beam, 80 damage. Discard an energy card. We're not going to need to worry about discarding the energy card because Hyper Beam's going to do 80 damage on a 50 HP Doduo. And there we go. I do apologise. It wasn't such a competitive match this time, but I do think that's going to happen from time to time. One more prize card. We've got a Water Energy card, and the last prize card was a Deerling. You didn't even get to see the Deerling and the Sawsbuck in this match. We didn't need him. On this side, the prizes we had, there was a Rapidash in there, as well as Watchog and Patra and a Defender, which is a pretty cool card. You can take 20 less damage when it's attached to a Pokemon. But there we go. Gyarados will go through to the next round, of course. Not much of a surprise, I don't think, in the grand scheme of things. That was always going to be the case with a weakness advantage, and also Gyarados VMAX being a hugely powerful card. There are some other decks that have got some massively powerful cards coming up as well, so I really hope we're going to have some really strong, like heavy hitter matches at some point down the line. But with that said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. You know where the buttons are. Thank you to everybody who does watch, who comments, who likes the videos. Really appreciate it. And a big old thank you to the people who make the mods, the flex table, the Pokemon cards, the energy counters, damage counters, Pikachu dice. Thank you for giving me the tools to do this kind of video. I'm really enjoying myself. And thank you to vecteezy.com, where I get the versus render on the thumbnails that I am using. With all of that said, thank you again for watching. I hope you have a very lovely rest of your day, and I will see you next time.